Hobby Quick Hits. Delivering that breaking hobby news directly to your earlobes. You want to know those hot drops from the card shop? We've got you covered. With your host, John Newman.
Welcome to this week's episode of Hobby Quick Hits. And today's episode is going to be basically, what I love about the National Sports Card Collectors Convention, right? And obviously, I think we're all, those that do enjoy the National, many of these reasons are going to resonate with you and probably feel the same way. If you're someone that not a big fan of the National or not going, the next 30 days are going to be heavy National content, and not just with our productions, but just across the board in content creation. It's a huge event, obviously, and everyone is going to start to buzz and start talking about it. And so, if that's not your thing, the next month is not going to be fun for you. But I'm just going to go through, kind of what I enjoy about it, my approach, and why I like it so much. And again, not going to be a long episode, but definitely wanted to touch on some things about what I call the greatest show of the year. Let's get a word from our awesome sponsor, Mojo Breaks, and then we'll get into all these segments of the show and why I love the National.
MojoBreakShop.com is the best place to get your sealed wax products and brakes. They not only have the best selection, but the best prices. Whether it's a box or a whole case, they are your guys. They ship worldwide to your doorstep. Their reputation as one of the most trusted in the hobby goes unmatched. They are the 2021 Topps Rip Party Champion Breakers. From sports card to Pokemon cards, their selection can't be beat. They offer daily deals and pre-orders.
Hey guys, John Newman here. Mojo's prices are already great, but to save an additional 10% off anything in their store, use the code QUICKHITS. That's QUICKHITS. Check out the full-service store that's open 7 days a week in Santa Clara, California, or the website at mojobreak.com.
Let's check out this week's Hobby Wax releases. Take it away, Owen.
Hey guys, it's Owen for the Sports Card Shop. Here are the new weekly releases. On the 6/22, we have 2021 Panini Contenders Optic Football. On the 22nd, also 2021-22 Topps Chrome Bundesliga Soccer Hobby and Elite. And then 2021-22 Topps UEFA Champions League Stadium Club Chrome Soccer. And on the 24th, we have 2022 Panini Select Baseball and 2022 Topps Definitive Baseball. See ya, guys.
Let's go round the hobbyverse and catch up on this week's hobby news.
All right, time for the hobby What's Up. Let's start with the world champion Golden State Warriors. We'll get the annual 30-card championship set treatment from Panini. That will be a 30-card set, and it will cost $30. So 30 for 30 there. Speaking of sets, Topps will be doing here in the summer their two factory sets, retail and hobby, 660 cards, Series 1 and Series 2. The retail version will feature the 5 rookie image variation parallels. The hobby version will feature a cello pack with 5 random foil board numbered parallels as well. eBay continues to grow and expand their card influence and platform. They will be starting to do live eBay selling events. The first one is scheduled for June 22nd at Bleecker Trading in New York City. DJ Ski will be the host, and it's an opportunity to interact live and purchase items in real time through the platform. And the next event, the next scheduled live eBay event after the June 22nd one, will be on the floor of the National Convention in Atlantic City. All right, let's head to the corporate end of the hobby. Fanatics continues to go Hollywood. They have a new CEO. His name is Mike Mahan. He comes by way of Dick Clark Productions. He was the CEO there. He will now take the reins at Fanatics/Tops, and might be interesting to see another person wind up there as well. We'll get to that in a second. It's been reported that Emily Kless will be leaving Tops/Fanatics to head to accept a position with Golden Auctions, where Susan Luzarash, who was at Golden, has announced she will be leaving the company. So what might we see our first industry trade? Emily with Suze. We'll see where Suze next, pops up, what her next position will be as she announced she has left Golden. So some musical chairs in the industry going on, it appears.
Time for the segment where you ask me a question and I answer it here on the podcast.
Sweet question asks, John, with all the eBay add-ons, do you think this will turn people off from eBay? Well, if the normal fees haven't done it by now, I don't know what much more it will take. I think it's not so much the add-ons, it's the cost. They can do a whole bunch of different things, but what is it going to cost on the user end, right? On the seller end, on the buyer end. That's, at the end of the day, that's what's going to determine if they're going to lose business. And, eBay's not known for low fees. It's why I've taken, frankly, a portion of my inventory off my eBay store. When you have a My Slabs with a 1% seller's fee, that's a lot better than eBay. So I don't have a lot of graded cards on eBay any longer like I used to. And so that'll be individuals' decisions that say, listen, for the inventory I have, eBay is not, a viable option for 75% of what I sell now based on the fees. Now, if you have a lot of inventory and, it's very expensive inventory, another $2, $3, $4, $5, what's it really mean to you, right? You in a different space financially and with your card inventory. So you may not care. You're selling $1,000, $2,000 card. $5 is not going to hit you in the same fashion as it's going to hit somebody who's selling a $20 card or $30 card or $50 card. So I think it's variable. For me, the variable was 1% at My Slabs or a higher percentage at eBay. And so I've jettisoned most of my eBay graded cards over to My Slabs. And, when I do list a new card, I just determine what platform will represent it better and what platform, if and when it sells, will get me the most bang for the buck. And I have taken some stuff off eBay. I've heard other people say they list a lot less on eBay. I've heard other people say, they close their eBay. However, don't be mistaken. eBay is the number one marketplace for selling sports cards. Even with all these people pulling some stuff out, it's still number one on the rankings, and that's probably not going to change in the unforeseen future.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right. If you're listening to this show on release date, Monday, we're about a month away, slightly over a month away from the National in Atlantic City. And it's a week I look forward to now every year. And again, if you know about the National, it's pretty much around the same week again every year. End of July, front part of August. Different cities usually. So, right now, Atlantic City, Chicago. It'll be, I'm assuming they're going to go back to Cleveland with the convention center there now reopened. But we'll see. And we'll see if it hits any other cities. But, I went to my first one. I believe it was the 2018 in Chicago, if my memory serves me correct. And, people were telling me, oh, man, it's going to be crazy and immense and whatever you're thinking, it's going to be even bigger than that. And they were right. And even though people were telling me what it was like and what to expect, and then you get there for the first time, and it's even beyond that. It's so for those that are going to their first National in Atlantic City, it's whatever people telling you, including myself, it's going to be even bigger than that. It's, I've coined it the Super Bowl of the hobby. I've heard other people say it's the family reunion, and I think, those are great descriptions, if I may say so. Super Bowl week, right? Well, it's National Week. It's the biggest show that we have, and I know there's been some other shows that have kind of thrown their hat into that ring, and they're good in their own right. Don't get me wrong, but there's only one National, at least at this point. There's always a rumor that they may do 2 a year, but right now we get 1 a year for the week, and it's just a tremendous event, right? It's name me another week, right, or show where the highest population of card collectors will be. You can't. It's the National. It wins that title every year at this point, right? At no point or time will there be one location with more people in the hobby at it at the same time, and that's collectors, that's celebrities, that's athletes, that's corporate, right? It's the whole ball of wax. And whatever you collect, right? However you hobby, the National's going to have something for you. I was on Eric Norton's Fat Pack show at my first National, and he said, "What do you think here?" Early on, and I'm like, if it's not here in this building, it probably doesn't exist. And I kind of stand by that. I mean, you're going to see cards, that you're not going to see maybe somewhere else potentially. You're going to see cards that you'd love to own, can't afford, right? $1 million cards. You're going to see, auction houses like Heritage with armed guards strategically positioned throughout their setup, kind of watching what you're doing, right? And there's something for everybody. If you're a quarter guy, if you're a dollar guy, you're going to have your bargain boxes. Singles club's going to have everything's a buck, a very popular destination, myself included. And there's no one should leave the National and say, man, that kind of stunk. There was nothing for me. If you're in the hobby, it's going to be there. Whatever sport, non-sports, vintage, pre-war, post-war, ultra-modern, high-end, low-end, it doesn't matter. Interactive stuff, you can get yourself put on a card, and I know Panini does that. I'm assuming they still will. You got all your grading companies will be there. Whether they're on-site grading, I don't know. We'll have to. That remains to be seen. But they'll have a presence. You'll have a lot of new hobby companies, new hobby products, kind of setting up for their first time, trying to get the word out, right? So it touches on everything. Give yourself time to see everything. It's a great place, obviously, to meet your hobby friends for the first time or not the first time, right? I think we all look at this week as kind of like where we know we're going to see certain people for, this time of year. It's a given. And, it's an event that I'm going to try to go to almost no matter where it is every year if I can make it happen and it's in the budget. And, it's kind of like a built-in hobby vacation. This one is going to be kind of different because I can drive to this one. Normally Chicago, Cleveland, further away, when I go to shows in Dallas, obviously you have to fly in. But with this being Atlantic City, 5.5 hours away from where I am in Syracuse now, I can drive. And where I usually go to the show solo, my wife's not into cards. She's actually making this trip, and she's going to enjoy, Atlantic City, the beach, the sun, with a book, and enjoy the other things the city has to offer besides cards. So it's going to be a vacation getaway for her. It's going to be a hobby vacation for me, and look forward to meeting old friends, making new ones, doing some interviews on the floor, some content creation, maybe getting a card or two off my, PC list, which is, graded Hall of Fame rookies. Spent a little money in Dallas, and then those you probably have heard, I finally was able to procure a 48, 49 leaf Jackie Robinson. That wasn't, not cheap. Spent a little money the last couple months, and right now put sort of the kibosh on buying anything because I want to go international with some money, right, and get to buy one or two more, decent cards off that graded Hall of Fame list. And that's one of my approaches. Is I kind of go in with a list of 4 to 6 cards and try to get at least 1 to 2 of them, 3 if I'm very fortunate and lucky. But kind of looking at 1 or 2 now with budget constraints with recent purchases. But it's even more than the cards, right? Like I said, the people we meet, there's after hours event, trade night if you're into trading. I'm not a big trader, even though trade night's sort of a misnomer because there's sales going on there as well. But the older I get tired late at night. So I am a night owl, but I'm getting to be less of one as I get older. So again, whatever, pick your poison, so to speak. There's VIP events. Some of the companies throw parties. So there's opportunities to do a lot. I know a lot of people itself, like I'm going to be staying in the house about 3 miles away, a beach house about 3 miles away from the convention center with some guys from some of my buddies from Hobby Hotline. And we're going to have fun, even after the show, whether we, go somewhere or hang out in a deck and drink a beverage or two, cook out. We're going to make the best of that week. That week will probably fly by. That's the other unfortunate thing. Goes quick, right? And then what do? As soon as the show's over, kind of count down the days again, right, to the next national. It's something I think, most of us look forward to. If you're not a national person, it's not your bag, the next 30, 40 days, like I said in the intro, not going to be fun for you, because it's going to be a heavy content across the board. And, a lot of social media is going to talk about, a lot of shows are going to talk about, a lot of shows that have guests are going to be, national focus. I know even on Hobby Hotline, we almost talk about it every episode now leading into it. This show and Sports Car Nation is going to have a heavy NSCC feel to it, and then we'll wind it down as the show winds it down. And, we'll do review shows and then kind of move along and, and that'll be the end of it for a little bit until we ramp up closer to the next one. And I'm just, I'm excited. It's kind of like being a kid in a candy store, right? But instead of candy, it's cards and buddies and friends and again making even new friends as well. So it's going to be fun as we approach, and you need a day to me. You almost need depending on how long you're there, a day your time is just going to be conversing. At least in my case, with people, whether I see somebody and go up to them or I get approached, and I'm very approachable. I'm a friendly sort of guy, and love just meeting people. I'm a huge people person. Love talking to people, and that the stories besides the cards you buy or purchase or acquire, the stories and that you in conversations you have are so priceless as well. It's something I look forward to every year. I taking pictures with folks and asked to be taken. It's just crazy to me. So allow some time for some mingling and conversations. Definitely allow some time to check everything out as you can. I don't think it's possible to see everything, that the show has to offer. It's just so vast. But at least give you some time to attempt to take everything in. Do some research even before you get there of things you want to do. And there's also events outside the show, right, that you might want to attend, kind of get your itinerary set. Always, just good national tip is, always try to book your reservations and all that stuff is as far in advance as you can. Number one, that way you get that stuff, and number two, it tends to be cheaper the earlier you do that when it comes to airfare and hotel and tickets and all that fun stuff. So, I'm not a national expert, but I've went to a few of them now where I can kind of speak more about it being experienced. And, it's going to be a fun time. And again, we'll kind of wind it down here and just say, hope to see you there. Hope to meet you. And I hope you have a good time, because if you don't have a good time at the National, you did something wrong, honestly, and I don't know what it was. But it's a great week, and look forward to it every year, and I look forward to seeing you there. So we're gonna take a break real quick to get some social media stuff out there, and then when we come back after that, I'll give some closing thoughts. All right, thank you for listening to another episode of Hobby Quick Hits. Want to give out our social media, starting with our website, which is www.sportscardnationpodcast.com. Facebook, you can follow us at www.facebook.com/sportscardnationpodcast/ Twitter, we are at sportscardnat1, so it's sportscard NATI1. Instagram at Sports Card Nation Podcast, or you can email the show hobbyquickhits@gmail.com. Again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. All right, that's going to do it for this week's Hobby Quick Hits episode. I hope you feel about the National the same way I do, and hope to see many of you there. And obviously in the next few weeks, right, as we approach about a month out, we're going to get a lot of, national coverage. A lot of our content is going to be national slanted. I got on Sports Card Nation, we got a preview show for the National with baseball collector Mike Moynihan, and later on in July, just before the National, I'm going to have Dr. James Beckett on Sports Card Nation, and we're going to go over National through the years. He's seen every single National. He's been to every single one. And so we're going to, through his lens, kind of see how the National has changed over its evolution. And so I don't know how many people can claim, stake their claim to attending every National, but Dr. Jim can, and we're going to kind of, through his lens, like I said, talk about how the National has evolved, what it was like in the early days in comparison to now. So with that being said, we wish you well, and we'll see you back here Monday for another episode of Hobby Quick Hits, and on Fridays, our other interview show, Sports Card Nation. Take care. Say goodnight, Kane.